Nice. Hello and welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with Green, White, Black Maverick. This is Achilles 27's list that he 5-0'd with, which is really cool. This list, first off, is a little bit different. It's not playing Mother of Runes, it's not playing Giver of Runes, it's not playing Sylvan Safekeeper. It's really just playing a pretty threat and removal high list. That doesn't really care about protecting your creatures. You just want to keep applying pressure through multiple threats. Mum's in a pretty weird spot as well, especially with cards like Dreadhorde Arcanist and Oko. It is pretty hard to protect your creatures with Mum out, and given the amount of time that your opponent does have against Maverick, where you don't sometimes have the quickest clock in the game, your opponent can set up a turn where they, elk your creature, you tap Mum, they bolt it, or you bolt Mum, they tap it and save it, they attack with Dreadhorde, they bolt the other creature that you have. So it's pretty rough, but this list looks really cool. I have been playing around with Once Upon a Time myself in the Black Splash lists and have been liking it. It is a way to dig for cards like Plague Engineer, which you can't find with Green Sun Zenith, which is nice. It does allow you to keep some hands that are a little bit risky, maybe like a 2-lander, or one where you just have the mana, the removal that you want, but don't have the threat, and once can allow you to dig for it. It's not too bad as a 2-drop either. It's a little bit worse with Thalia in play because it does cost 3, but I think it's generally pretty well. It fits pretty well in the deck. So what you usually cut for it is a land, a Noble Hierarch, a Green Sun Zenith, and then X card. In this case, it might be the second library. It could be like a Mother of Runes if you're only running 3 Mums. So there's a few different things you can cut to fit in the 4 once. And I generally like it. I think it adds to the consistency of the deck, which I think is Maverick's probably biggest. Yeah, I'm going to say biggest benefit of playing Maverick is the consistency. So once is pretty cool. The board's really nice as well. So 4 Leyland for Graveyard Hate. Combo Hate, we have Gadok Teague, and then 4 1-drop interaction spells, which I think decks like Maverick and Titan Daxes have missed for a long time. Usually have a lot of good 2-drops in, Thalia, Gadok Teague, Aethersworn Canonist, Collector Ouphe, but especially on the draw, it can be a little bit rough to have to kind of wait 3 turns to actually get something into play that's going to disrupt your opponent. So, Chalice on 0 against some of the LED decks is really nice, and Deafening Silence, of course, is pretty great against anything from Reanimated that's playing Duck Ritual to Storm in Ant or Tez, to even things like Infect. It's pretty sweet because it allows you to respond to something like a pump spell and know it's not going to get countered. So if your opponent goes main phase Invigorate, you know that you can sort it in response and they won't be able to force or daze that spell, which is really cool. It also slows them down enough for you to set up a board state that then is a little bit more tricky for them to navigate through, which I think is really what you want to be doing with Legacy Maverick. You want to be having some sideboard cards that allow you to slow down your opponent and use that time to actually apply some pressure to the board, which is really cool. Yeah, it's very true. I mean, if a lot of their spells are giving hexproof and they're not able to actually back that up with a force or a counterspell, or even hexproof in response to your removal, then Deafening Silence is pretty sweet. I think it's okay on the draw. I definitely think it's great on the play, but that should be pretty interesting. This deck's also running 3 Path, which I think is a big hedge against some of the turbo decks being played right now, and also Rug Delver. Rug's a pretty tough matchup, and I was speaking to Achilles and he wasn't too sure about how he wanted to sideboard against it. I think he just wanted a few more reps, which is definitely where I would like to be. But his general consensus was taking up Plague Engineer, Gaea, and Collector Ouphe for the Part 2 Exiles and the chokes. Probably 2 chokes on the play, 1 on the draw. Chalice is also pretty interesting because we do have other outs to things like Delver. We don't just rely on swords, we also have Abrupt Decay, Vraska, Gaea. There's a few things there, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's very true as well. So there have been a few times where I've had Abrupt Decay and they've had Hooting Mandrills, I've had Swords to Plowshares, they have Oko. You got to really make sure that you can line up your removal well, which is pretty tough because you never know what's coming. So if you accidentally use a Swords on an early Delver, draw Abrupt Decay, and then they drop Hooting Mandrills, it's not a great feeling, but usually you can you can try to use your life total as a bit more of a resource to gain more knowledge from what they're actually playing. So maybe we don't, you know, Swords of Delver straight up, take a few hits, and then maybe when we figure out that we have to deal with the Delver, we can Swords it, or hopefully use an Abrupt Decay. But yeah, this list looks really nice. It's gonna be pretty fun playing. I do like the double ups on Jewels. I haven't seen too much back to basics online, so the 2 buys and 2 Savannahs are really nice. Also, just adding a third fetchable black source is really good. So we'll see how that goes. Let's jam. Yeah, I am with you. Okay, Legacy League, we're playing with play points. Nice. Hey Wolf, welcome. Hope you're well. Hope you enjoyed streaming with Turbodeps yesterday. Pretty sweet deck. Nice fast games as well, usually, which is nice. But, you know, sometimes you do have to slug it out as well. Okay. Nice. Alright. We're on the play up against Wordy 333. His hand is okay. It's a little bit slow, but I don't mind it too much. Swords is nice against the creature decks. Thalia is nice against the unfair decks. We can pretty much cast whatever we draw into, which is nice. So I don't mind this. I probably would like a more explosive start with like a Noble Hierarch into like a Knight, but I think I'm okay keeping this hand and seeing how it plays out. Yeah, the hand isn't spectacular, but I don't think it's a hand that I would put back because it has a bit of game against everything. It has all the mana in the world that I need, which is great. The question is, what do I want to actually lead on? I think it's just going to be Windswept Heath. In case it's a moon deck, then we can go and get the basic planes. Also, if it's like a Mother of Runes deck, we can sword straight away and then untap and play Thalia, which isn't going to be great against a mum deck, but at least it's keeping me on curve. And if we're up against a Bolt deck, I probably want to get these basics into play as soon as possible. Chell someone. Okay. So this could be a number of things. This could be like a blue prison deck. I'm going to assume it's Eldrazi. The second sword isn't great. Hey Wolf, thanks for the sub. A huge thank you. If anyone is a fan of Turbodeps, you should definitely check out Where's Wolf. He's a local player. Plays a lot of Turbodeps, very good player, and has started streaming, which is very cool. Do I care about Wasteland? I probably don't, seeing my current deck. Yeah, this is fine. The chalice is going to be tough, but we do have Night of Autumn to get rid of it. We also have Abrupt Decay and Gaea, which is kind of nice. The extra sword is a little bit rough, especially if they cast a Thought Knot here and take the Questing Beast. But we do have some pretty good draws. Endless One. Okay, Endless One not the worst. And there's Night of Autumn, so that's pretty fantastic. We're definitely dealing with the Chalice, and then we get to unlock the Swords, Plowshares, and Hands, which is nice. So, unfortunately no great attacks yet, but the Knight was a pretty perfect draw. I don't think I'm in the position where I want to double block this Endless One yet. I think it depends on what they play here. This definitely feels like a smasher. Okay. So this is pretty interesting. So Thalia, pretty relevant in this matchup. It's pretty nice against Eldrazi Mimic and Mana Reshaper because of the first strike, but I think here just a double block is going to be fine. There's a few other advantages of having creatures in the graveyard, in that if I draw into Scavenging Ooze, I can start eating creatures as soon as possible. But I think with the Smasher in play, I also have to keep my life total at a fairly high amount, because I don't have too much... I don't have a way to stall the game right now, so I think we are going to double block. I'm not sure if my opponent's playing Walking Ballista either, which sometimes sees play. I can't get blown out here by Dismember either, so it's a pretty safe spot to double block, and I don't think I would, you know, there might be, I might not have this chance again down the line. Plague Engineer. Plague's actually pretty nice because we can also hold up swords to plowshares. The question is, if I'm sorting the Reality Smasher, what am I discarding? Maybe I'm playing the Plague Engineer here with a land out and just having Plague as my answer to Reality Smasher. So if I could play Questing Beast here and swing for 4, which they're already at 8, which is pretty interesting. So I guess if I play Questing Beast, tap out, attack for 4, I do have a blocker for Reality Smasher. I do get a little bit blown out by another Chalice, but both of these have Death Touch, so that's not something to argue about. The haste is relevant because of the Ancient Tombs as well. We're also at 13, so I don't mind Questing Beast here. Just to really start applying pressure, because with these Ancient Tombs in play, I think I can race them pretty well. I'm not really scared of Thornot either because of the double up on sword. City. Opponent has played the city, which is fine. What does the city tell me? Tells me they probably don't have any other lands in hand, or they would probably play that first. See if they attack or not. They are going to attack, which is really interesting because I'm going to take this. And then they go down to 4 if they use these Ancient Tombs. If they play a Thought-Knot and don't take the Plague Engineer, then I get to name Eldrazi and make it Thought-Knot a 3/3. Matter Reshaper. Okay. Matter Reshaper's fine. Decay would be sweet. Once. So the question is, why would I want to once here? And I don't think there's a great reason why I would. I think what I want to do here is Swords the Matter Reshaper, attack with Questing Beast, and then play Plague Engineer. So let's do that. The question is, do I really want to Reshaper can't block if you Plague Engineer first? That's very true. That's a really good point. Because it will go down to 2 power. That's actually a fantastic point. So same Eldrazi. And now the once is actually pretty good to pitch the sword if we need to use it. So this turns off the Ancient Tombs, which is pretty nice. Okay. This might be another smasher. Okay. Interesting. If they attack with everything, we have to block a Smasher, or we have to Swords a Smasher. So they can't actually attack with everything, because we could block Plague Engineer on a Smasher, but then we would still take 2 trample, still take lethal. Okay. So we can't block with Plague Engineer and then attack for lethal with Questing Beast. Oh, okay. Maybe, actually, I think we have the line. The line is to, if they attack with everything for 10, we can block with Plague Engineer. No, I was going to say we could Swords it, but then trample still happens. Yeah, blocking here is a win. So I think maybe the play is just to Swords our own Plague Engineer to go to 10. If they attack with everything, then I can just block the Matter Shaper. They're actually just going to pass. That's interesting. Ramunap. Happy to play the Ramunap. Play the Windswept from the bin. We do have another Savannah we can grab. Yeah, I think we're in a pretty good position. It's just a case of making sure we don't make a mistake that gives our opponent a chance to win. I think the big question is do I want to attack with the Questing Beast? And the question there is, do I want to trade the Questing Beast with a Reality Smasher? And I think for now the question is no. I probably don't want to I don't want to attack with the Plague Engineer either, because then it gives them a chance to start playing things like Eldrazi Mimic. So I think I'm happy just to pass back here. We have access to Dryad Arbor as well as a blocker, if that's relevant. I think Beast here is just a little bit too good that, you know, maybe if I draw into a Exalted creature, I could attack for 5, which kind of makes them have to have a double block. Interesting spot though. Attacking with the 1. I probably want to once in my turn. I think the once can find a bigger threat than the Questing Beast, so I probably don't mind the trade here with the Beast. It kind of depends on this once, to be fair. I mean, if the once finds a Noble Hierarch, then the Questing Beast is probably better than the Reality Smasher here, so I think I want to actually fetch first. Find a Savannah. And then look at the top. Because if I find a Knight, then I can trade the Questing Beast away, but if I find something like another Plague Engineer, that's interesting. That actually makes this trade really good. Hey Soto, welcome. So we take the Plague Engineer, we can then trade this Engineer with the Reality Smasher and take 2 and go to 5, which I think is fine. There's the Noble. Okay, so that's pretty nice. So let's go Noble Hierarch. Exactly what we talked about, which is great. So this means now we can play the quest. We can play the Plague Engineer. Make the Reality Smasher a 4/4. Attack with the Beast. The Matter Reshaper can't block. The Reality Smasher has to block. Okay. Engineer, Eldrazi. Move to combat. Attack with Exalted. Yeah, nice. Very cool to navigate. But I think, yeah, the Once Upon a Time was really nice because it allowed us to get more information before actually making a block. And of course, hitting the second Plague Engineer there just means we can pretty easily trade one off and then hopefully draw into the Noble Hierarch. Interesting matchup. I think the trade here is pretty easy. I'm not sure that we want all the parts, but to be fair, it's a pretty creature-heavy deck. The only thing I'm scared about is probably the chalices. Yeah, I just think that there's nothing better than the parts. Like, if this was in the main deck, I don't think there's anything here that I'd be bringing in for the Path to Exiles. Yeah, so they started on a Chalice. Chalice was their turn 1 play. And I assume they would keep them in, but you never know. Maybe they don't think that Swords Plowshares is the reason to keep in Chalice, but we also have a few other 1-drops that they're probably aware of. Collector Ouphe is an interesting one. If they're playing Walking Ballista, there's probably a reason to keep it in. I just don't think there's a better card in the sideboard for Collector Ouphe to go out for. I don't think Thalia, because she's a first strike creature, is enough to keep her in the deck. And yeah, I think because we have Gaea, we have Abrupt Decay, we have Vraska now, and Night of Autumn, we don't really worry about Chalice, other than the really fast starts of Chalice, Thought-Knot, Smasher. But I think this is pretty sweet. Very nice sideboard Achilles. I like how it's pretty easy to side in and out what we have. This is an interesting hand. It's definitely not the greatest against a Chalice, but I don't think I'm going to throw that back for that reason by itself. All This Dust is interesting. I believe so. I believe there's enough decks with heavy board states like Ice Fangs and Okos and Green Elks that it's probably worth playing All This Dust if you're playing it. Chalice. I'm just gonna move these over here. This looks like Thought-Knot. Okay. Turn 1 Mind Twist? Yeah, pretty much, unfortunately, but that is magic sometimes. Can draw into Abrupt Decay, which is nice. Or a Knight. What do I want to do? I probably just want to go for... just in case they're playing Wasteland, I'm just going to go with another fetch. Yeah, this is post-board, so luckily we got there in game 1, and then for the board we brought in 3 Path, 1 Vraska, and took out 4 Thalia. There's Cavern, so they could play another Thought-Knot here. Maze Mine Tomb. Tap, put a page counter on Maze Mine Tomb, scry 1. 2 and tap, put a counter on Maze Mine Tomb, draw a card. When there are 4 or more page counters on Maze Tomb, exile it. If you do, you gain 4 life. Interesting. Okay. Probably just want to fetch in upkeep, just to make sure that I don't think thinning is a viable strategy, but I probably don't want to draw into my other Bayou or Savannah. Dude, I just got to use Kai to kill a Merit Large. I didn't even think of that. That's very cool. That is pretty hilarious. Yeah, Kai's got a lot of hits, which is really nice. From Astrolabe, Mox Diamond, Mox Opal, Noble Hierarch, Birds of Paradise, Mother of Runes, Aether Vial, Food, a lot of really good hits. Delver, Merit Large, Exploration. I could keep going. There's a lot of things. So in 4-1 with Bant Turbo Progenitus. That's pretty cool. I do like the look of these Bant natural order decks. They look pretty fun. Alright, so we're getting Savannah, Bayou, drawing. Scryb Ranger. Alright, we're still just going ahead with Knight here, let's be honest. Knight's been solid, both games. I do like Knight right now over Qasali Pride Mage, because there's not too many interactions where you need the instant speed. Especially with Jide and at all-time low. Ooh, what's this? Oh, draw a card, okay. Maybe they're wanting to draw into another Chalice. That'd be pretty good. Yeah, I think the versatility of Knight right now is really nice. Even the full life can give you an extra turn when you really need it. Yeah, Deafening Silence seems pretty fun. Especially in your deck where you don't really need to be casting too many spells. Looks like they're really digging for a Chalice right now. City. What's this? Another Thought Knot is more than fine. They get to take... They probably take the sword... I wonder if they play any basics. Some lists have before played a waste, but they probably don't. Take a path. Gonna take this. Go to 10. Noble. Play this. I should have actually probably swords first. Just to see if I drew into a Wasteland and played that for turn. Okay. Okay, let's go with Noble attack for 3. Do I want to attack? Maybe I don't want to attack because of the Mistress Factory. I think we're right. Yeah, I think because we have the 2 swords, I'm okay. There's probably a reason that I want to keep the swords in path for actual creatures and keep the knight for the Mistress Factory because of what it is right now. It's just a 2/2. I don't really want to be swordsing a land, but see how this plays out. Definitely swordsing this. Maybe I want to path it and see if they do have a basic or not. They are searching. Okay. Okay. That's probably why they took it as well. Interesting they didn't attack with the Mistress Factory. I assume that that means they have another creature. Okay, another Thought Knot. Well, they're not going to like this. Pretty happy just to swords here. Draw first. They probably take the Ooze, but there isn't a creature in the yard yet, which is interesting, but it probably has, yeah, the most merit to it. Dryad Arbor and Scryb Ranger is really nice because we can start blocking with Dryad Arbor if we need, and then returning it with Scryb Ranger as it's a forest. Playing a cavern to lose a city. Interesting. Wasteland. That's pretty nice. I think here I just want to take care of the Ancient Tomb, because Reality Smasher probably is the card that I'm most worried about. Scryb Ranger we can cast at instant speed as well, so no reason to cast it here either. I might be able to, if they get really aggressive with Mistress Factory, we can cast a Scryb Ranger, untap the Knight, and then just block. But I'm going to assume they have bigger things. Green Suns or Knight is probably what I really want here, just to have a blocker for Reality Smasher. But if they're going to be putting time and money into this, then I'm pretty happy. Come on. Come on, you coward. Activate that Mistress Factory. They don't. Fair. I'm just going to cast this now. Alright. Knight or Green Suns is what I really want. Canopy's pretty close to it. I'm pretty happy to take a draw here. Once. Yeah, okay, we can once, and then we can still cast a creature. How do I want to tap this? Probably like this. Come on, Knight. Hey Grim, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. There's Knight, perfect. So let's go untap Knight, return Savannah. Sorry, untap Noble. And then we can actually get this bad boy into play. Nice. I'm going to attack for 3. They could activate the Mistress Factory and then pump it to trade, but I don't think that's a great decision. I think they really need their land drops here. Oh, double black? What is this? Oh, maybe Dismember. Huh. They are going to trade the factory. That's really interesting. Play 4-color Loam. Very cool. I played 4-color Loam just the other day, which is on my YouTube channel, which you can find. Which is pretty sweet. Has a few timestamps to each match, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Okay. I think here I just want to start annihilating their mana base. Yeah, path is pretty perfect. So let's go... Also a reason that I don't really have to. I could just start attacking here, but... So if I path Matter Reshaper, they don't get anything. We can then attack for 8, which puts them on a 2-turn clock, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, they are extremely dead, but it's just making sure that I don't make any wrong moves here. I think I like putting them on a 2-turn clock. Untap this, return this. I'll play the Dryad. attacks. They go to 8. I guess I could put them to 7 if I wanted to because of the Wasteland, which is definitely correct. Pretty happy just to probably take them off the Urborg. It means they can't play Ancient Tomb and they just use it for a black. Hey Bolt, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? We can even Knight in their turn to take them off something, but I don't think there's any reason to. I could return the Dryad Arbor to my hand, untap the Knight, then sack the Savannah, but I think we have this locked up pretty well. Not really scared of too much here. Even a Smasher isn't the worst because we can untap that Knight. Another Mimic. Okay. Ratchet Bomb. Okay. Let's just draw. There's probably no reason to make this Knight bigger. Put this up to 1. That's fine. Riches. Oh, can we deal? I think we can. Yeah, let's play Savannah. Swords this. And then we can go attack for 9. Move to blocks. No blocks. We can use Scryb Ranger to untap Knight, return this Savannah before damage, and now we can sack this to make it 10, get a Wasteland, and Wasteland them, which is 11. Good day. Nice. Good start. I think that Eldrazi is obviously a favored matchup for the deck. We have a lot of different ways to attack their strategy, either through their mana base or just apply bigger creatures. We have pretty good removal, which is nice. Oh, it's very cool. Nice. Always been into Loam and Maverick. That's cool. Bolt, where are you from? Do you have a local Legacy scene as well? I know right now it's obviously a pretty tough time for Paper Magic, but what's your town or city usually like when it comes to Paper Legacy? You play Delver? Ooh, I don't know if we can be friends. No, we can be friends. I've played Delver. We've all played Delver at one point. We don't talk about it, but... Oh, Newton. Oh, this is going to be rough. I believe they're going to be on Elves. Especially on the draw. We do have Plague Engineer, which is nice in the main deck, but it's going to take some pretty heavy removal draws. Unfortunately, this isn't a keep, but we're going to mulligan this. This isn't too bad. We can play a turn 2 Gaea, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to do that. So we'll keep this, and I think I'm going to bottom the Knight. I probably don't mind having a second Gaea if they remove the first. Reclaim is pretty sweet. So I think we want to go Bayou into Verdant. Oh, interesting. Huh. I don't think I want a Wasteland here. That puts me back a few too far. Hey, Dark Cloud. Yeah, I know, I was pretty keen to play some Legacy, so I thought, hey, let's do one. Hey, thanks, Wolf. All the best. Hope you enjoyed dinner last night. Hope you had a good stream as well and enjoyed it. Yeah, I think I just have to build myself out here. Let's go for, yeah, Bayou into Noble. The record is 1-0. We beat Eldrazi Aggro, which was nice, but Elves is going to be tough. Maverick just doesn't have a great way to answer how fast they are with creature threats. You know, Thalia doesn't do a whole lot. But we do have some pretty good answers, hopefully. 3 mana, Green Suns for 2. Okay. Visionary. Just trying to draw a card, okay. So Gaea here actually doing nothing, which is pretty rough. I can Green Suns for 2, but we don't have Teague in the main deck. What does Green Suns for 2 do? Nothing really, to be fair. I think I want to hit the Dryad Arbor. Then I could go and get something like Hex Drinker. Gaea here unfortunately just does nothing. Yeah, I think Wasteland on Dryad Arbor is fine. Play a second Hierarch and then just attack for 2 here. Luckily, a marginally slow start from Newton, which is kind of nice. I think that's what Maverick definitely needs, but like a glimpse here would be very, very, what's the word, intimidating. Ooh, okay, I guess we just 6. This probably means they have Cradle. Cradle into Heritage Druid would be sweet. Another one, okay. It's pretty good as well. Attack for 1, okay. I think we're definitely taking out the Reclaimer. The question is, does this Cradle achieve anything right now, or am I just playing a second Bayou? I can't Green Suns for Plague Engineer, unfortunately. I can't Green Suns. Ooh. No, I can't Green Suns yet. Oh, yeah, I can't Green Suns yet for Ramunap, but maybe that's something that I want to be doing. But once this Elvish Reclaimer is online, the one that I don't deal with, this Wasteland becomes a little bit less powerful because they can just sack the land we target. We're definitely playing we're definitely playing a Gaea. But maybe it is the Visionary that I want to get rid of. I think the Visionary is the odd one out, and the Visionary also just allows them to do some pretty heinous things with Wildwood Symbiote. The 2 Reclaimers themselves aren't too big of a deal because of Green Suns. We can go get Screws if we wish. We also have another Gaea. So I think just making... Oh, I can't even hit that. Okay, well that makes it pretty easy then. I think it is just going to be the Elvish Reclaimer. I'm going to play Cradle and pass. Maybe I'll... Is there a reason to play Cradle here? I guess I can Cradles here, so then we can Green Suns next turn for Ramunap if we need to. And play this Wasteland. Glimpse is always intimidating. Yeah, that's very true. The one small defect of Deafening Silence is that no one's really running Aether Sworn Canonist anymore, which is probably the better card, obviously, for Elves, where Deafening Silence doesn't do a whole lot. Even a small, they're pretty close to just a natural order that can kill me pretty easily. Can't really play around that. I think we'll definitely bring in Teague. The parts are interesting. I think allowing them to have a land is okay because it does a lot less than allowing them to have a forest. This is probably why I would. Yeah. Two at Gaea and 3 at me, so I got a 15. Oh, all at Gaea. Interesting. Maybe they thought I could have like Scryb Ranger. This does mean we get to get rid of the Cradle, hopefully. Oh no, because they get to untap the Elvish Reclaimer. Yeah, Chalice is interesting as well, although Newton probably has access to Shepherd, which is pretty good. They get a tap land here. I wonder if they're getting Bajuka Bog. Wooded Foothills, okay. Well, there's Ramunap. That's interesting. Two, three, 4, 5, 6. We don't have enough mana to go Ramunap, Wasteland, and Gaea because we have to make the land drop of Bayou. And I don't think there's a way around that. So I have to think here, is it better to play Gaea and probably get rid of the Wirewood? Or is it better to play Ramunap and waste them off the Cradle? I think keeping them off the Cradle is probably better for now because it can't be returned. It can't be sacked by the Elvish Reclaimer. They don't have the mana for it. Yeah, I think the Wasteland is just the best play here. I could then Green Suns as well for 2, which gets me Scoos, which isn't too bad because it stops some of their attacks. I think that's okay. So we'll play Ramunap. Get back Wasteland. Hit the Cradle. And then I'm just going to Green Suns for Scavenging Ooze. Oof, okay. Yikes. It is very cool to see how Elves is a deck in Legacy. Just a mass of creatures that can combo out, but it can also just go wide and swing with a bunch of creatures. I guess a little bit like Goblins. Not so much a combo, but things like Sling Gang and Palicus can get you out of nowhere, and then you can also just win with a bunch of creatures on board. I think the biggest live draw is obviously going to be Plague Engineer, but that's if we get a turn here. So this Gaea has to go off. If we get a turn, we get to play Gaea. We take out the Wirewood because it can't be returned to hand by anything or protected. Maybe they're just going for a massive hoof. Or Archon. Interesting. Probably naming instant. Yeah, okay. That's fair. Come on, Plague. One time. If I need to draw one card right now, it's Plague Engineer. And I know someone up there is looking at me and going, you can have it. Ah, so close. I thought if I did that, that might happen. Yeah, this is looking pretty tough. Definitely playing the Gaea. Getting rid of the Wirewood. Play Bayou. Play Noble. I guess we can attack with Scooze. And just eat a bunch of their stuff. We can eat a Dryad Arbor to actually gain a life. But sadly, I don't think it's relevant here. I can see a Cradle into Natural Order coming very quickly. Which is a little bit scary, but... Sadly, Elves just doesn't care too much about what we're trying to do here. So let's eat a bunch of stuff. Let's go Dryad Arbor. There's no creatures in my bin. Windswept Heath. Wooded Foothills. Cradle. Verdant. Alright. Yeah, unfortunately this makes me think that they just have something pretty good here. 1 green. 2 visionary. The tough part is that I've always been a fan of creature-based decks in Legacy that just lose very hard to Elves. But I definitely like going through and playing the whole game. I like to see what happens, but it usually ends in a pretty bad way. There is Allosaurus Shepherd. Okay, so they can pump everything. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Very cool. Boarding's gonna be interesting. What do we like? I like Gaddock Teague. I like the Parts. I like the Chalice. I like Path because although it gives them a land, I think that having an actual elf is just so much more resource for them than just one land. A little bit interesting as well with Chalice because we're probably chalicing on 1, but we'll see how that slides. I don't mind Vraska. We'll see how we go about sideboarding. I think we can definitely take out these 5. But Thalia is interesting. It can slow them down a little bit on the play. I could also take out the Knight of Autumn and leave 1 in. I don't want to go too hard on removal where we just don't have enough to actually put some pressure on the board. But I think two Thalia out, a Knight, and a Collector Ouphe leaves me at 63. So then maybe it's just Thalia, and a land. I'm probably okay in just dropping Karakas, to be fair. Karakas doesn't do a whole lot, other than maybe save a Teague from like an Abrupt Decay. So I think Karakas is going to take the cut. And this is 60, so... Although Thalia could be okay on the play, I think it just doesn't do enough. This will be interesting. Play first. So this is a fine hand. It's a turn 2 knight, Sylvan Library, but I don't think it's good enough against Elves. I think we really need to have at least one piece of removal in the opening hand, because this is just kind of like they don't care about what we're doing here. The plan for this hand is really just like 2 ships in the night. Like they're not going to care about us having a knight or a Sylvan Library, to be fair. We're not running Blast Zone, so we can't go and get, you know, like a Blast Zone with knight. So I'm going to mulligan this. A little bit aggressive, but... So this hand is dropping Cradle, but even then, is it good enough? Yeah, definitely a nice hand in the second matchup. 100%. Even against something like Eldrazi, I'd be happy to keep that because the knights act a little bit like removal. But this is a tough one. This one has removal and a knight, which is a turn 3, which is pretty rough. I think there are better 5s. Opponent has kept 7. Yeah, I think that although this has a turn 1 piece of interaction in swords, if we untap and draw a land, then that's kind of game. Yeah, so I think although it does function, I don't think it does anything against Elves that we want to be doing, especially post board. Ah, 1 lander. Okay, this is okay because I can hopefully draw that 3rd land for Plague. So I think we keep this. I feel like we have to keep the Sylvan Library to get back in the game with card advantage. So I think Knight is a drop here. And then I think it's between... I think it's Gaea here. Yeah, I think it's Gaea because we want to go turn 1 Dryad Arbor, untap. If we draw a land, great. Plague Engineer. If we don't, that's fine. Hopefully Path. The only issue is that we have to use this Windswept Heath for a green source, so we can either get Savannah for white or we can get Bayou. And I think we want to go for Bayou because there's so many more draws for white. Bayou. Green Suns. Yeah, I think the black source is so much harder to find, so hopefully this will be okay. Elvish Reclaimer would be a great start from them because it plays around. Okay, Wirewood. Noble. Sylvan Library Pass? It's Sylvan Library Pass or Noble Hierarch Attack. It's a very low percentage, but there is a time where we play Sylvan Library, untap, and don't find another land. So maybe here actually Noble is the better case. It also means if we draw a land, we can play Plague Engineer and also Path. So if we play the Noble, we can still attack for 2 with the Dryad Arbor. There is a huge upside as well, being we get to Path Wirewood and then play Engineer if we draw a land next turn. And worst case is that like if we lose the Engineer somehow, like Thoughtseize or something, we still have Sylvan Library and Path. So I think I'm happy just to go for Noble Hierarch here because it gives us some ability to play around not finding a land off the Sylvan Library. but it's a close one. Nice, okay. Path this. See if they return the heritage to it or not. Oh, they don't. Okay, that's nice. Elf. A little win, but definitely not out of the woodwork yet. I assume my opponents put in Abrupt Decay, which definitely answers the Plague Engineer. They could also just go for a natural order off this Dryad Arbor, if they have another land, into like Progenitus or something, which would be pretty disastrous. Matsol. Cavern. Elf. This could be just a... okay, Green Sun's for 1. So no black mana as of yet. Savannah. Alright, let's attack for 3. I'm going to play the Sylvan Library, but keep the Savannah in hand. I think I'd much rather have just one card in hand for my opponent to worry about. Like, even Containment Priest is something that we can be bluffing here. Like get in for 1 and then natural order post combat? Nothing. Okay. That's a pretty big win for us. A Wasteland would be kind of nice here. A Swords is pretty good, let's be honest. Oof. Okay. I kind of want all of this. I probably want this and Wasteland. So I'm actually just gonna... we're playing the Wasteland this turn, but we're not playing the Sword. I can pay 8. But the thing is that I can't do all of it. I guess I can, yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Even though I can't do all of this in one turn, and maybe that's a reason why I should have played the Savannah, I can now look at 3 new cards on top, which is nice. So I think I'm okay with Swords on the Dryad Arbor, and then Vraska the Reclaimer. And then keep this Wasteland around for something else. Even though it's a little bit rough using the Swords on the Dryad Arbor because we have Wasteland. Oh no, we can still do that. We can Wasteland the Dryad Arbor and then Vraska the Elvish Reclaimer. Yeah, I do like that. I think Swords just has a lot more versatility to it. Ooh, what's this? Crop rotation? Oh, they can use it for Elvish Reclaimer. Ah, yeah, that's a sequencing error. That's a big sequencing error. Rough. Hey Oleg, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Yeah, there's a punt. This does also mean now they can go for Dryad Arbor and Natural Order in the same turn, which hopefully they don't do. Looks like they're getting Dryad Arbor here. Oh, Bayou. Okay. Maybe they have Abrupt Decay. I guess that they could also Green Suns for 0 and then Natural Order. Vraska and Sylvan Library are really nice together as well because we don't have to pay for anything. Morph. Okay. Ooh, Kai is really nice. Put on top, put on top. Play a land. Gaea. Exile the Morph. I really just want to be in a position where I can keep them off. A creature. So holding up the swords for Dryad Arbor is all that I want to do here. Because Progenitus is what I'm really scared of. I'm not sure if they have it, but I do want to play around it because I can. They're getting a Dryad Arbor. Interesting. Are they going to block? If they block, that's more than fine. What's this? Abrupt Decay. They have one card left. I think I just want a Swords here, just to get it off the board. Even though maybe keeping that for an Elf is better, we do have Gaea and Vraska both online. So I think just also turning off the Cradle is relevant as well. Okay. So we know Cradle is on top. Hopefully some action. Okay. Put on top. Put on top because we can draw into it. Play Canopy. Tick up, exiling these two. Actually, let's go for these two because it makes Elvish Reclaimer a little bit better and also gains us life. I think I want to kill this with Vraska. Not the greatest, but I do just want to keep them off creatures. I can draw a card and play Scryb Ranger in their turn, which is nice. Goblin since 2005? Very cool. I'm a big fan of any player that sticks to just one deck and grinds it out. That's really cool to hear. What's the legacy scene like in Russia? I also have to look at my my time as well because I'm at 8 minutes and they're at 14, which is pretty brutal. All right. Put on top. Put on top. Land. Play Ooze. Exile these two. Probably shouldn't have exiled the actual creature, to be fair. Probably better for Scavenging Ooze, but I feel like we're honing in here. Yeah, back to basics can come out at some pretty interesting times, to be fair. Looks like that is passing. Alright. Eat Visionary. Heritage Druid. Eat my own plague. Put on top, put on top. Go to attacks. I'm just gonna swing with everything. Okay. I believe I get 2 minutes in the sideboard, so I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quickly. If you guys think I should change anything, let me know. Hey Rain, hope you're well. I'll be back. Nice. Yeah, I think this should be okay. It's gonna be interesting. But they're like, you know, I'm older 5, had Plague Engineer, and Plague Engineer just really allowed us to, I guess Sylvan Library as well, but Plague just a menace against decks like Elves where they are focused around one tribe. Sadly, just one of those hands that's okay, but a little bit too late game, or mid to late game for Elves. So mulligan this. Happy to keep this, and I think I'm happy just to bottom the Scoos. Wasteland. Alright, let's go for Windswept Heath, Fetch, Savannah. Cast once. Can we find Noble Hierarch or birds? Okay, that's pretty good. Play bird. Reclaimer. Okay, that's fine. I think now we just go for Gaea, take out the Elvish Reclaimer. Swords. Okay, wow. I think it is Gaea here. Swords to Plowshares and Chalice. Yeah, that's pretty good as well. Yeah, I guess Chalice also turns off Glimpse, which is nice, so... I think the Swords goes after the Reclaimer, because I'm not too scared about the Visionary if Wirewood's kind of turned off. But to be fair, we can also answer the Elvish Reclaimer with Gaea, so I think we want to go after the Elvish Reclaimer. Sorry, the Elvish Visionary. Because Gaea is the answer to this. Yeah, Achilles, you have a very nice deck here. Okay, let's go for Gaea first. Exile Reclaimer. I don't want to show Wasteland yet. I want to see if they use this to go and get something. But one thing that I am missing is a clock. Yeah, I think I definitely learned from the last game where we used our stuff a little bit too early on. Once, okay. Visionary's fine. Creature, Wasteland. Okay. I think it's probably too aggressive to Wasteland the Wooded Foothills here to see if they if they don't have any basics left, to then be able to Wasteland the land they get. Because Natural Order here is really scary. But I believe they play more than, like, they would play another basic. I can only see 2 covered forest in his last ones. I'm actually okay with this, because I believe they only play 2 basics. Because we have so many Wastelands here that I don't think the 3rd one is going to matter, so I don't mind just, on the off chance they don't have another basic, keeping them off Natural Order. Yeah, okay. I also want to hit this, because if they play Cradle, they still have 4 mana. Nice. That also gives us information for the last Wasteland as well. They do have Allosaurus Rider. Ooh, do they have Heritage Druid? Wirewood, okay. I think I just have to pay here. Exile this. Oh, I should have hit the Wirewood first. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Yep. Stupid. Rough. The 4 minutes I have as well is a little bit rough. I do need to find a threat. That's what I'm really missing right now. I wonder if they played that Elvish. Yeah. We know they don't have a basic. Oh, I can't because Chalice. Yeah, I think I will hold the Decay for Shepherd. Because then I can respond to the Chalice trigger of them casting something else by decaying the Shepherd. No, they bounced the Shepherd with the Wirewood. I was supposed to Gaea the first one on Wirewood and then hit the Allosaurus Shepherd, but that didn't work. So here we get to Decay Allosaurus Rider. And now the Chalice trigger will resolve. The question is, do I block here? And I think the question is yes. I'd rather keep the Gaea around. Do I just pay for both of these? I think I do. Just to try to dig. I just keep. I want to keep them off natural order as much as possible, and Cradle into order there is maybe something I'm a little bit too scared of, but I think that's okay. 3 minutes. Okay. Oh, okay. Put on top, land, night. We have 2 minutes 50 to win. Again, just going after Misty because I know they don't have any non-basics left. So I'm happy to try to keep them off this as much as possible. This looks like Decay. I think they're going to go after Night. They're not. Okay, interesting. In response to this, I'm going to path this so they can't then tap Birchlaw. And then we can exile the Birchlaw to the Gaea. Oof. Getting close. Alright, what do we find? Top. Exile this. Once. Can we find another creature? Oh, Questing Beast is perfect. Go, 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 go. Oof. Okay. Oh, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? The beast. Wow. Sweet games. Yes. Ah. Wow. Nice. That was sick. That was really cool. Just to, maybe I was a bit too aggressive with those Wastelands, but I was just so scared of natural order that was pretty tight. That was really fun. That was really good. Nice. We got there. Yeah, the Wastelands were nice. I mean, once we knew that they only had 2 basics, then I think wasting a waste there is fine because they're not doing anything else. If anything, you're just forcing them to get out lands and not allow them to use it in their upkeep and draw step, because then, yeah, I think that, natural order is a big way to win there, especially when we don't have much else, so. Oh, feels good. feels good. Definitely, you know, I think there we needed Newton get unlucky, and they obviously did, missing so many draw steps. But yeah, pretty fun. Hey, thanks, Achilles. I'll try. We'll see how we go. But thanks for the list. Enjoy your weekend. I'll speak to you soon. All right. Gaea there as well. Gaea just doing so much work, which is really fun. Man. Oof. That was a sweet game. I don't think I've ever banned a player, but there we go. Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty tough, but obviously a lot going in the world right now, but hopefully this stream gives you a little bit of a break from everything. Definitely gives me a nice break. Unfortunately, this is going to be a mulligan. Very 3-drop heavy, or obviously having no lands, but... Ah, up against Aussie, okay. Probably on... probably on 4-color loam. So we'll mulligan this. This is a pretty great hand, I'll keep this. And I think Thalia is probably the weak link here, because I want to use this Wasteland aggressively and then also have 3 mana. Noble, okay. This Gaea just looks so good that I'm going to go for Savannah into Noble. Wasteland, oof. A little bit rough. We'll see what they do here. Sylvan Library, okay. So at least Abrupt Decay for Sylvan Library is going to be pretty great here. This is where some of the games feel like chess, where it's just back and forth, like, I make my turn, you go. I make my turn, you go. Which is very cool. Knight would be pretty fantastic here. Thalia. Just as good. Just as good, because it does keep us off this Gaea for 1 more turn. Oh, Knight ourselves. Interesting. Knight to B4? This is not... This could actually be the mirror. It's looking less like 4-color loam and more like the mirror, which is interesting. This could be Green Suns for 2, but they can't with Thalia out. Swords. Okay. And Wasteland? Wow. Nice. Scryb Ranger. Ranger is free. Oh, but we can't untap the... I was gonna... Yeah. That's rough. We can't untap the Noble, of course, because we don't have a land left. Yeah, Ramunap here is just so good. Attack for 3. The Thalia was huge, which usually isn't a big card in the mirror, but to keep us off Gaea was huge because it meant that the Noble Hierarch would have been gone. If we can get a land here, we can cast Gaea, which is pretty huge. Ouphe is fine. Yeah. Rough. Yeah, I think it really depends on the player. I think that there's definitely a consensus that that Ramunap isn't as great as it used to be, because of all the snow decks around and basics being pretty dominant in the format. But I think it definitely has a lot of application, which is nice. Huh. This is an interesting one. There's not really a card here that I want to bring in. They're playing their own Ouphe, so I don't believe it's going to be an equipment deck. It might just be one leyline, as weird as that sounds. Even a mid to late game leyline isn't the worst. Have to be pretty lucky to have it in the opening, but I think it's better than any of the other cards. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll keep this for sure. I mean, if you can bring in one and then have it in your opening every time, I think leyline is a slam dunk draw. Verdant. I'm gonna fetch up Savannah and then once before I noble. Oh, Hexdrink is really nice. Oh, Hexdrink is really nice because we can tick it up to 4 next turn because we have Cradle. We can play it off Noble Hierarch, play Cradle, and then we have 3 mana available, which is pretty huge. But because they did this, I'm gonna go ahead and just play Scooze out. I'd rather play Scooze and not allow them to get the Hex Drinker. They also know about the Hex Drinker, so they might be a little bit prone to tapping out. Yeah, they're not going to, wow. One swords. Okay. Do they have another? I don't reckon they do. Ah, they do? Rough. Alright. Wasteland's pretty cool. I guess I wasn't playing around Scryb Ranger there, so maybe I should have actually Wastelanded in upkeep. That's probably correct. Oof. I'm gonna sack this Savannah. Nice. Which means I'll probably go get Dryad Arbor in their end step. Interesting, Veil just to draw a card. Okay. Tracker's fine. It is me, and I am on Twitch. Haha, good afternoon, and welcome. Yeah, Vraska's going to be nice. I'm going to go and get Dryad Arbor here just to get it out of the deck. See if they want a Wasteland now. They do. Okay. I want to destroy this because that's going to get out of hand. There's probably, if they're playing Questing Beast, maybe there's a reason to actually play Karakas there instead of Windswept Heath, because that could be pretty punishing. Okay, crack the clue, that's fine. Wow, just nothing. Wasteland, that's interesting. Tap this for 1. I'm actually going to get rid of the... Do I want to get rid of the Cradle? I think I do, because there's so many good 3-drops that I could draw into. Decay, that's pretty good. I'm going to go after their black mana here. Again, not playing around Scryb Ranger, which is stupid by me. Apologies. Knight's fine. Happy to decay there because they don't have Veils up, which is nice. Once. Ramunap is pretty nice. I'm not going to sack anything. To be able to next turn go Ramunap into Wasteland is just so good. We didn't really see anything, to be fair. Matt just got pretty unlucky there. We got a nice little lock on the board before they could really apply any pressure. The one leyline was hilarious. And I think it still is better than any of these. Teague just a little bit rough because it does turn off our own Gaea. But I'm just going to submit the same list. And if we have the leyline, we have the leyline. We don't. And this is a pretty slow hand. I'm going to mulligan this. This is another, like, no lander, so that's pretty rough. Can't really keep this. Yeah. Okay, we'll keep this. I'll bottom Savannah we can find with the Once or the Windswept. It might just be the second Once here. This is fine. Oh, they also went down to 5? Okay. Another plague. Interesting. It's called Once, not 5 for a reason. I like that. I like that a lot. Another Inquisition. Okay. That's pretty nice. Swords means if they play something that isn't a human, I can get rid of it. Like a Scooze. Perfect. Scrublands, we can cast everything. I'm just going to Swords this now. I want to untap and play this Plague. Oh, Kai is actually pretty nice as well. This is an interesting spot. Why would I play either? The Gaea is probably less likely to be destroyed or removed, and the Plague actually, I think the Plague only gets better like time. The Plague is like a really nice wine where the longer you have it and don't actually crack it, the better it is. And I think that if I can play Gaea here and give me... Oh, I can't actually play Gaea. I don't have the mana for it. Okay, we're going with... Forget the wine story. We can't cast Gaea, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Gaea there is probably better. Because the Plague, we're playing this blind. Verdant. Okay. I'm going to attack first. Play this. Fetch for a Bayou. I would play Gaea now. Yeah, Gaea seems pretty nice now. Tick up on the 2 Inquisitions. This could be like Abrupt Decay, so maybe one of these is going to get decayed. Decay Gaea. Okay. I wonder if that makes me want to... I think I don't mind Wastelanding in upkeep to play around Scryb Ranger, but also to play around Green Suns for Night. Our own Green Suns. Interesting. I don't mind getting Hex Drinker here. I think Hex Drink is actually pretty promising. They have 2 cards left. Might as well pump it now, and then just pass. Blast Zone's pretty nice. Green Suns. Go for Ooze. I think here they're going to crack the Blast Zone and take care of the Hex Drinker, just to make use of their mana. Yeah. I probably want to once like this, because if I draw into a Noble, I can cast it. Knight of Autumn's pretty sweet. Also means it's Sylvan Library isn't a great draw for my opponent. Knight. Alright. Do I trade the Plague Engineer with the Knight? I think I would be pretty happy for that. Hey Tim, hope you're well. Currently 2-0 and currently 1-1 in this mirror against Matt Vuk. Am I happy trading the Plague Engineer? I think I am. I think Plague's done enough work so far that if they're going to trade for the Knight here, I'm pretty happy for that. Looks like they won't. Okay. Now the question is, do I play the Knight or do I keep it up? I don't think playing the Knight achieves anything right now. Because if I play it as a 2-1 and gain 4 life, meh. If I play it as a creature and get it to a 4-3, in the face of this Knight, which is going to become a 5-5 at least, I don't think I really care, so I'd rather just keep it in my pocket until it actually becomes relevant and I can trade for something in play. Like a Clue. But this looks like this is going to be pretty rough. Because Tireless Strike is just going to draw them so many cards. Yeah. Unfortunately, we just can't win that. Just the amount of card advantage that they get from Tiles Tracker and Knight is just so good that I don't think, even if we draw like Sword, we're just not going to be able to keep up with that. Unfortunate, but sometimes that's just how it goes. Pretty interesting matches though. The Blast Zone was sweet to take care of the Hex Drinker, because I would have loved to have ridden that to victory. Ooh. So we've got up against Elves and Eldrazi Aggro. Went down to the mirror. Deck's been sweet. Been really enjoying it. This is of course Achilles' list that he 5-0'd with, which is pretty cool. Up against Jiggins. This hand is fine. Let me keep this. Yeah, it's pretty interesting though as well. We had some good draws to get out of that, but once the Knight and Tiles Tracker are down, it's pretty tough to play around with. Drop into Delver. Okay. I'm gonna go Forest into once, just to play around Days. Noble Hierarch's nice. Alright. This is gonna be fine. Another once is interesting. I probably don't mind just slamming the Knight of Autumn as a 4/3 here. I don't want to play the Knight just yet because I want to wait for it to be at least out of bolt range. So Delver will flip, shows a Ponder. Oko's fine. Knight's pretty cool because it does keep the counters around. That was interesting. Decay Insect attack Oko. Wasteland not too bad here as well because we can still play Knight around Days. Another Delver's okay. It's going to keep up once and swords. Swords reveals force. I think that's okay. Not going to do anything in response. Another Wasteland's okay. I'm gonna swords this. If they want to force it, that's fine. We currently have a pretty good clock. I'd probably rather keep the sword for something like Tarmogoyf that might be bigger than our current creatures, but they are gonna force here. Okay. One card left. Go for once. Just hardcast stays. Okay. Scooze. Scooze is pretty good. Attack with both. That's fine. They have 0 cards. I think here I just like Scooze and then Wasteland the red source. Okay. Okay, so sideboarding is interesting. I think this is where the weak spots are. Maybe even Gaea. I do like the 3-path. I do like the chokes. And I also like Vraska. I could see myself going down on some number of Thalia because of the amount of non-creatures we're bringing in. So maybe like this is fine. Keep 2 Thalia in because they're still relevant, especially if my opponent stumbles on mana. I could see a case for Karakas being taken out. Chalice is also pretty nice, so maybe I want to think about Chalice as well, but I don't want to go too all in on non-creature spells and then just have no threats. Or just have a bunch of reactive stuff. Yeah, always nice to see Rug on defense. got lucky there with the Abrupt Decay on the Oko, but... Or the Abrupt Decay on the Delver to attack the Oko, but... Maybe Chalice is more on the play card. And maybe I just want the Karakas because I want to hit my land drops. I think a big way to lose against Rug is to stumble on mana. And I think they're a great deck to actually push that agenda on you. So I'm going to see how this goes. I think this has a fair amount of game to it. I was going to say I'd love to see both basics in this opening hand, and this is okay. I'm going to keep this. Delver. Okay. Noble. Alright, I'm just going to lead out on this Noble again. This also means if they tap out turn 2, we can play Cradle and then tick up Hex Drinker straight away, which doesn't play around Oko, but plays around Bolt, which is nice. Brainstorm. Brainstorm here probably because they want to bolt the Noble Hierarch, so they want to get the most out of Brainstorm and fetch here. Ponder, okay. Well, this is interesting. What does the Ponder do? Chose to not shuffle. I still think Hex is just so good here. They're gonna force it. Interesting. Well, then I'm probably happy for them to daze the Sylvan Library to keep them off Oko the following turn. That's not gonna happen. Okay. Well, that's fine. Post-board, there are some answers to Sylvan Library, like maybe like a Brazen Burrow or Bounce. They could also have Return to Nature, but a fetch here straight away most likely means that Oko is coming down. Or Hooting Mandrills, 2, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Another like removal spell like Path would be really nice. Another Sword is perfect. Put on top, pay for this. Opponent on 1 card. 2 cards. Nothing. I'm probably just going to go put on top, play the Bayou so I can play around Days, and just play this Ramunap. Yeah. Put up to 3 cards. Once is pretty nice. I do want to go to 6 because of just double bolt, so Knight isn't the greatest here. I think I actually want to go put on top, play Cradle. 1, 2, 3. Let's just go for Scooze. This also plays around Lightning Bolt because we have 2 creatures in the bin. This is going to be fine. I could respond and eat, but I'm happy to see what happens here. And to be fair, upkeep I'm probably going to want, so I can get a fresh look at Sylvan Library as well. But to be fair, we did just Green Suns as well for the Scavenging Ooze, so we do kind of know what's on top. 2 blue. Is this just a Goyf? This could be a Mandrills as well. Okay. Eat Noble. Eat Hex. Probably no reason to not eat these as well, because it just grows the Tarmogoyf, so if I can get rid of them now, that's pretty good. Gonna once to see if we can find an exalted creature. Wasteland's actually not the worst. It might just be a fetch land here. There is just something nice about another night though, so. No great attacks, so I'm just gonna pass. Skoo's also keeping off Dreadhorde and Tarmogoyf is pretty huge, so I don't really want to trade it for the Hooting Mandrills here. I'm going to take this, because I think we can stabilize after. I do like Once, it has been really nice. Green Suns. Well, there's Sword, put on top. Put on top. If I want the Green Suns, I can grab it with a Horizon Canopy, which is kind of nice. I think we'll start by swordsing this and see what happens. They have a force, okay. Play Knight. Can probably happily attack you with these two because I'm not going to be blocking with them. And then I can make the Knights a 5/5, which is nice, but I can't play around Stifle. But I think that's okay. Two cards for them. Sack Savannah. Yeah, so what we can do is get Wasteland and then Wasteland ourselves, which makes the Knights 5/5s. So unless Jack has like something else, it's pretty rough, but luckily we just got to get the... Yeah, it was pretty rough. I mean, you had one thread at a time and we were just able to use our life total as a bit of a resource and find the swords when we needed them. And then like in game one, the top deck Decay was huge because then we could Decay Delver and just take out the Oko. Yeah, it's always nice to beat Rug. It's such a good deck that yeah, it doesn't often happen. Usually have to get lucky like we did just there, so it helps. No, I think that was great. We were pretty light on white, and you seemed to go after the white with Wastelands pretty heavily, so that was really nice. I think we had a Knight in our hand for a little while, but unfortunately that Decay there just kind of allowed us to take out the two threats that you had, being Delver and Oko, and then to start attacking with those. Teabag Tom. This is an interesting one. So if we don't find... I don't like this because it relies on the Once to find a green source, so I'm going to mulligan this. And also we just have 3 big beaters, which I think I'd rather have some pieces of interaction like Thalia, perhaps. So here we can go draw a card and then once maybe find... This is interesting. But like, Ouphe could be dead. The Cradle's kind of dead. We probably have to go to 5 here. Hey, D-Denga, thanks for the raid. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy? I'm keeping this, but it's rough that this Cradle has followed us. A little bit ouch. Ah, cool Pikachu submarine. That's very cool. Okay, we're gonna drop a Noble and probably Cradle. Cradle's not doing a whole lot here, to be fair. Are you from Brazil? Very cool. It's not that evil. Basic Island. Ponder. Okay. Ah, you're the band depths guy. Cool, that's very awesome. Yeah, that was a sweet list. I really enjoyed that. How have you been finding it so far this month? Oof, okay. We got there, always. Let's go for Windswept Heath. Get Savannah and play the Noble. Also, do you stream? Did you just stream Bent Depths? .50 and 241 so far. Very nice. Yeah, Brazil's got a really strong legacy scene. You guys have been putting up a lot of really good results recently, especially in the challenges, which is very cool to see. Kind of puts, I guess Australia's had some pretty good ones. I know Yihua's been doing really well with Bug Zenith and a few other decks. And Jack, you've top 8'd a challenge, I believe, recently. Are you trying Doomsday? Interesting. I feel like this... Oh, they're keeping the Noble around. Huh. Well, then I'm pretty happy to try to get this Sylvan Library down, because I don't want to get locked out by my own Thalia. Force. Alright. Another brainstorm. Hey Gusta, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Cradle, interesting. I don't really want to attack into Icewind Quaddle, so I'm not going to attack here. Swamp. A lot of basics. Dead of Winter would be really good here. Oh, interesting. Taking out that so we can go get basics. That's fine. Happy to get a forest. Oh, Ramunap? That's pretty cool. Sadly, I can't get back Cradle, but I'd probably rather the Windswept Heath. Because at least the Cradle doesn't just do nothing in regards to Dead of Winter. This also means we can untap and just cast the Knight if needed. Yeah, Field of Ruin's really interesting. It's obviously because they want to keep... oh, discard a card? Probably just the swords here. But if they're playing Uro, then I probably want the sword. Plague Engineer is pretty good if they're going to be relying on Icewind Quaddles. I think it's going to be Plague here. But maybe it is just the sword. We have 4 swords in the deck. We only have another Plague, so this seems fine. Scooze. Huh. Yeah, I think it might be Ooze. But I can't currently cast Ooze and make it a 4/4. So I think here I like just going for use a fetch. I don't know how many Field of Ruin they have. I probably want to keep a land in here for that. I'm going to bring back the Windswept Heath in case I need black mana. Play Knight. And attack with Ramunap. Interesting deck. It looks like a pretty high value deck, especially playing Kolaghan's Command. We haven't seen white yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were playing Swords to Plowshares in this list with like Astrolabe, of course. Duran in the lock. Interesting. Screws would have been kind of cool there. Oof. Ouphe is interesting. Let's go Cradle. We can definitely attack here pretty easily. I probably don't mind just going fetch for Bayou. Play Ooze. And then play Ouphe just to keep them off black mana. And now we do have two creatures in the bin as well, so this Screws can become a 4/4, which is probably relevant. Oko's okay. What does Oko do? Make a food. Okay. So the question is, do I use the Screws here? If I use the Screws, they can destroy it in response. I think I'm happy to untap. If we draw Questing Beast, that'd be sweet. Savannah. Play the Heath from the bin. Move to combat. They're gonna fetch. Probably for Abrupt Decay? Oh, I guess we didn't really have to worry about the food because of the Collector Ouphe. Yeah, trophy. Might as well take out some of their stuff from the yard. To make Oko a little bit harder, Uro a little bit harder to do anything. Probably enough. Probably happy just to name Elk here. Leo's pretty good. Not gonna lie. Decay. Decay's pretty interesting. What does Decay do here? Decay takes care of the Oko? What have we lost against? We went down to the mirror. And we got up against Elves, Eldrazi, and Rug Delver. I think I want to see what they do with the blocks first. So we can attack the Oko and see if they block with Plague Engineer, which will be a 3/3 thanks to Exalted. Oh, they block like this. That's very interesting. Okay. I probably want to just play around Veil of Summer a little bit and just Abrupt Decay in their upkeep, just to make sure if they do have it, they use it in their turn. Okay, that makes their blocks... Yeah. Now we know. Come on, Green Suns. Once is pretty sweet. They have one card left. Questing Beast, one time. Knight's pretty close to Questing Beast. Yeah, Knight's here is pretty strong. We can also attack with the Ramunap here. Because it will be a 3/4, which is bigger than the food. Double block. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the Leovold. Oh, did that not? That's really rough. That's really tough. I meant to kill the Leovold, of course. That's the creature that I really care about. Leo's a 3/3. Damn, the spam today is real. Interesting. Okay. I probably should have drawn a card in my turn there because we do have some cards like Gaea or Sylvan Library I want to play. But I was just tunnel visioned into thinking of Horizon Canopy in their end step because of... yeah. Because of Leo. Dead of Winter. Okay, so let's at least sack a forest and go and get Canopy. Might as well do this now. Green Suns is pretty sweet. Ooh. They have one card left. We can go and get Dryad Arbor and then Green Suns for Questing Beast. Can I get some? Can I get some Questing Beasts in chat? Because this is its time. One card left. Swords. That's pretty nice. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. Let's actually keep up a white source. 4, 5. The Beast. Hey, Affinity, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Oh, what do they have? Force negation? Rough. Can't play around that. Beast is not coming out. Gonna play the fetch because if we draw into a Sylvan Library, I want to have a fetch in play. Hey Gravid, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Gonna attack first, because maybe they use a removal spell on the Dryad Arbor instead of Thalia. Alright, we can put lethal into play. This could just be like a hard cast force. Okay. From Brazil and play Maverick and Legacy? Very cool to hear. What archetype of Legacy do you play? Come on, Dryad Arbor. Alright, down to 2. I'm going to play birds because if we draw into an exalted creature and they get rid of the Dryad Arbor, I want to still have a creature I can attack with. Hey Mo, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. What do you play in Legacy if you play Legacy? Come on now. Going down to 1? Must be good. Probably Oko, to be fair. Uro. Okay, Uro is not the worst because we can swords it in response to the trigger. And I'm going to do it in response to the draw trigger as well. So they can't draw into like another blue card. But they do have Force open. No. Wow. Okay. Alright. We have a turn to draw something good. Gaea would be pretty sweet. Gaea would be awesome. Oh my god. Rough. This is probably game, unfortunately. Yeah. Rough. So I do like Choke. I don't mind Vraska. I think we can probably take out one Engineer. I don't mind Gaea because it still hits a lot of relevant things. I think Knight isn't as great and I could see that being cut. It's great as a beater, but other than that, they probably have a lot of pretty good removal, unfortunately. I can go down on a Wasteland for sure. Yeah, this looks like a 5-color build, which is interesting. I don't think any of these are relevant. I don't think I even want the Chalice. Maybe I do. I'm gonna see how this goes. And then if there is a game 3, we can think about more about the sideboard, because Chalice is an interesting one. They're a brainstorm deck with Ponder, but I don't really want to lock us out as well early on. This is a keep. Turn my Noble, turn 2 Knight, and then back it up with Abrupt Decay. Hey, Anzi, a huge thank you. What did you just play? Welcome everyone from Anzi's stream. We're currently 3-1, playing for the 4-1 against Snowko, it looks like. Which is going to be pretty interesting. I think Knight is just better here. Hey Eldor, hope you're well. Amin, welcome. Welcome everyone. Hope you're having a nice weekend. Force. Pitching Ice Fang. Okay. That's not too bad. I'm not too unhappy about that. Especially pitching an Ice Fang means that they're kind of losing an extra card as well off that. Anzi, what did you play? This is a pretty easy hit for Wasteland. I don't think there's anything I have to play around by Wastelanding here either. Maybe like Hardcast Ice Fang. Okay. I'm gonna float a green. Well, I'm happy to go to my second phase. Ice Fang, okay. Anzi is the D&T streamer. If you have any questions about Legacy Death and Taxes, you should go to Anzi. He has some great resources on it as well. These would have been sweet. I'm just gonna go for the Windswept Heath here and play the other Noble. I don't really want to be using a Decay on Ice Fang. I'd much rather draw into Engineer, which gets rid of it, and then they also have to use a card to deal with it. But at least the fetch land puts the choke and Gaea back into the deck, other than just being on the bottom. So we do have some pretty good draws to hopefully get into. Another island. Okay, makes this choke just that little bit better. Hex Drinker. Oh, Hex Drink is perfect here. Nice. If I tap like this, I can still get a black source off here to answer something like Back to Basics, which is awesome. And even if they tap out for Oko, the Hex Trigger becomes a 3/3. But then we have a few other things we can do. I do want to fetch here. Just want to see if we can draw choke. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And now they're even using this? Hilarious. Hilarious. We're gonna float one here. Actually, there's no reason to float one here. Classic. Sometimes it just happens. We're gonna get a basic. Yeah, Field of Ruin's really interesting. They're obviously playing this over Wasteland because it does put them back a little bit. How do I want to do this? Probably like this, and then just hold up Decay. I probably actually just want to get aggressive here. Use a Decay on Ice Fang and start attacking for 6 a turn. Because they're probably going to draw out of the choke look. They probably have things like Return to Nature. We know they have Abrupt Decay. So I'd rather waste their time on the choke than find an answer for the Hex Drinker. Knight of Autumn. 8+. Interesting. Probably to play around Dead of Winter, I'm happy just to keep pumping this up. Alright. This also plays around Dead of Winter, which is, yeah, the card that I really want to play around here. Not really scared of anything else. Yeah, Hex is tough, and we did have the Cradle, so you were correct in forcing it for sure. Do they have an out? I don't know if they do. Yeah. Nice. I guess maybe like Engineered Explosives would be pretty sweet, but they do not have that. So we had some questions here. You want to see the little progenitors? Yeah, that was pretty sweet. There's questions around Chalice, which is interesting. But I'm not sure if, especially on the draw, if Chalice is really a card that I want to play. Yeah, Hextrick is very cool. I think I'm just going to run back the same deck, to be fair. Maybe I want the extra Plague Engineer, and I can go down on a Sword, because I do like Plague Engineer as an answer to Icefang Coatl, because you're not spending a card to deal with a creature that's already drawn your opponent a card. You're actually playing something that gets rid of the Icefang, and then your opponent has to deal with it as well, so it kind of takes out the advantage of drawing a card of Icefang, because you're having to now spend a card on Plague Engineer. I'm just going to, yeah, change this up. I still think everything else is okay. Okay, yeah. Pretty nice. Collector Ouphe pretty nice if they start on an Astrolabe. Maybe we can get lucky with hitting their mana. But a turn 1 bird into a turn 2 Gaea can be pretty strong as well. There could be considerations of what I want to bait out first so that the Gaea doesn't get hit by something, but... Yeah, Chalice stopping Plow and Uro is probably a big thing to... Here I'm very happy just to Wasteland. For a deck that plays so many basics, to lead on a Volcanic is pretty weak. And I don't mind forcing a Brainstorm. Like this is, yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I'd much rather force the Brainstorm like that than allow them to have like the fetch land and everything else around. Oh, we can still use the once here as well, which is pretty sweet. I think I'm definitely going for Savannah. Savannah once. I was going to say, can we find a fetch land? We can. And now we can play Bird. Yeah, so now the question is, do we play Gaea next turn, or do we play Collector Ouphe? Gaea is pretty nice because it can hit this Astrolabe, but it really depends on what my opponent plays here. Swords. They're on 4 cards. They could have Drown in the lock, but... I think I'm okay to slam Gaea here. I think the upside is just so huge. I don't want to play 2 creatures and just be like hit with Dead of Winter. So if I can hit the Astrolabe here, I would be very happy. Nice. I guess they could Decay in response. If they wanted to fetch up a basic forest. No, nothing. Okay. Yeah, Hextrigger seems sweet in Delver. Low to the ground, it gives you something to put mana into if you have nothing else going on. This looks like Snapcaster. Interesting, just to get rid of Gaea. Huh. That's a little win. These are the little wins that I really want. I want to be able to make my opponent make a play like this, where they play a Snapcaster as a 2/1. Like, dealing with Gaea, that's fine. Something like Back to Basics here would be pretty good. I guess Oko is pretty good as well, let's be honest. Uro. Okay. Well, now we get to go Hex Drinker. Knight. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, I kind of like Hex Drinker. Hmm. 11 minutes each, which is nice, so there's no real rush from either of us for this third game. Interesting. I think they're attacking because they have Dead of Winter in hand, and it doesn't currently kill the Hex Drinker. So I don't want to have 2 damage on the Hex Drinker here. Library. That's a pretty sweet draw. So if they have Ice Fang, it's kind of annoying. I don't really want to lose to an Ice Fang. But I kind of like going all in on this Hex Drinker. How would it be hexed die to a Ice Fang? It wouldn't if I didn't tick it up there. So it only has protection from instants if you tick it up to the 1st level. And if they have like a counter spell to the sword, that's pretty rough. So here I think we're just going for attack with Hex. And maybe Green Suns for Skoos here to see if we can eat this Uro. I'm gonna tap like this. I can definitely feel like a Drown the Lock or like some sort of counter magic here. Force. Okay. Library it is. Punishing Maverick's pretty nice. Punishing Maverick doesn't really play Punishing Fire anymore, but you do get some pretty good creatures. You do get some pretty good effects like the Blast effects, which is probably Maverick's best answer to Oko. You do get Cloths as well, which is very strong. Okay, so now they can get back Uro if they wish. Which I don't mind, because we have this Swords to Plowshares, we can Swords in response to the 1st trigger, so they can't draw a card and draw into like blue card and force. Just pretty rough, they go to 17, but we do have a pretty good clock here with Hex Drinker. Knight. Alright, definitely attack. Probably want to see if I can draw into a Wasteland. Noble. Play Noble and play Knight. Oh. Knight also doesn't die to a Dead of Winter right now, which is nice. And it kind of means my opponent has to have something. Okay, now it dies to a Dead of Winter. If they have another land and Dead of Winter, then the Hex Drinker also goes. Which is a big yikes. Wasteland, okay, not too bad. 2 cards in hand for my opponent. Assassin's Trophy in the graveyard, which they can snap into. Leo's fine. We can Rexage the Astrolabe if I want to, but then they draw a card off the Leovold, so I think a better answer to the Astrolabe here is just the Collector Ouphe. Verdant. Play this. Now we can attack with the Knight and the Hex Drinker, and you can't just double block here. I guess they could have Icefang Quaddle, but I do like putting lethal on the board. Why use once? It adds a little bit to the consistency of the deck. You can find things like Plague Engineer and actually dig for them. Also, it makes some of your openings a little bit better because you can keep a little bit more risky hands and then dig for either like a land or something else. I think I'm okay with just... So the reason to blow up the Astrolabe is that it takes a snow permanent off the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I guess their only out is Snowland, Dead of Winter. So that's 2 cards that they need. They have 1 card in hand. I give them 1 by blowing it up with the Knight, and then they can draw 1. But I guess if I don't do anything here, it means that they have to kind of go like Ponder or Brainstorm into Snowland and also. So I think it's fine here to not blow up the Astrolabe. I guess I could have Supreme. Okay, Okro's gonna buy them some time. Cradle. Huh. So if we go face, they can block with Leo and also activate the food. So I think first up we'll play the Ouphe to see if they activate the food or not, because that also takes them off Icebank Waddle. Yeah, so I can play around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can play around Dead of Winter if I don't attack with the Knight, because I can Wasteland myself or Wasteland them to actually make it bigger than a 6/6. I think we're definitely swinging the Hex Drinker at the Oko because it can't be blocked. And then I think we're putting them to 3. No, I think we're sticking to our guns and just keeping this Knight up. They have 2 cards left. Something like Supreme Verdict is what I'm scared of, but because they play Dead of Winter, I don't think I have to play around Supreme Verdict. I can also return Leovold here with Karakas, which is probably worth it. Or did we take Karakas out? No, we didn't. Another exalted creature would be great. Choke. Interesting. I could be more aggressive here, but I think this is okay. I can also just go choke here. Yeah, Hex Drinker has been really nice. Drown this. I'm going to get a Horizon Canopy so I can draw a card in their turn. Oh, we must have already used it. Okay. I guess if their route is Drown, we have Wasteland for their Wasteland, and then we can go and fetch Dryad Arbor to get the extra 1 damage in. They're going to waste the Karakas. I think I will return this. Yeah, because I do want to have no blocks on their side. Even though they get a draw here, that's fine. Because they're on 1, we do have some nice outs. The question is, do I take out the Trop here? And I think I do. Just to keep them really low on resources. Ice Fang's okay. Oh, wow. Rough. Yeah, maybe I wasn't too aggressive. Aggressive enough, sorry. Oh, oh, oh! Come on. They can't force it because they're at 1. We can name Snake and then attack for 1. They can't even force a negation it because it's a creature spell. So luckily, luckily, yeah, I think I was just giving too much. Yeah, I was just thinking of Ice Fang too much and just other cards. I guess they did have the Ice Fang, but maybe they drew it later in the game. At least we go 4-1, which is nice. So luckily, yeah, we drew that plague, but. That's just Magic sometimes, which is kind of cool. Yeah, the deck was really strong. So Achilles had this list. He went 5-0. So the 4-1 is nice. I really enjoyed it. I think it was great. I think the 2 Kais in the main deck are quite nice. The sideboard's really clean, which I like. It's a little bit easier to navigate how to sideboard against some decks. Yeah, I think that's definitely correct. Just bouncing the Leo beforehand and then attacking with both. That sounds like a pretty great line. But luckily we got there. It doesn't end in a bad way. Hey Natty, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. Yeah, this list was awesome. I'm going to replay it probably on Wednesday. I know Saito-san also had a really good list that he 5-0'd with, which is really cool. So I might see if I can come back and hopefully get there with that. Because that was a sweet list. But that is me. A huge thank you to everyone who's followed and subbed today and who came in, especially all those from Anzi's stream who stuck around. My name is Dukes on Twitch. I stream on Wednesday nights at 7:30 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, and also usually on Sunday mornings. So tomorrow morning I'll be back. I keep thinking it's Sunday, but I'll open 1 chest for you, Jack. Let's see what we get. But yeah, usually stream Maverick. Sometimes stream some other decks. But I know that Wolf is actually streaming right now, which is cool, who is a Depths player. So I'm going to raid them. But yeah, if you like my content, definitely sub, hit the notification button. You get a message when I go live, which is cool. But I'll see you guys back tomorrow morning. If you want to find my videos on YouTube, you can find them at my YouTube channel. You can find me on Twitter if you're on Twitter. But yeah, thank you for everyone. Enjoy your weekends. Stay safe. Hope you're all well. That's me. Cheers.